Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, freeloaders, welcome to what we are calling the world's largest Microsoft certification unveiling, to the estimated 300 or so in attendance here today, and to the estimated 30 million joining us around the world online. Welcome. My name is Chris Cashman. I am your MC today. Thank you. I was going to ask for you to hold your applause for me until the end, but you weren't prepared to give me any, so it worked out good for both of us. Thanks for coming today. We're excited to have you here. We have some juicy information, some great guests. Hopefully you found the food outside, a huge spread of food. And based on the turnout here today, you know, get it quick because we only got room for you to have like 6 or 7ths at this point. So have that. We do have champagne coming up very soon as well. So we're thrilled that you're here because this is a day really to celebrate your certifications you've conquered. This is not an easy thing to do, as you know. And as we're here to celebrate success, somewhere across town, across the world, somebody is not finding the success that you have. As you know, this can be a very maddening industry, a very tough thing to challenge. If you take a look at your video screen now, we're going to sort of celebrate the other side of this industry. You've been there at some point. Take a look. As you know, it's never over until the fat guy breaks the copy machine. So that's sort of set the tone. We're going to have a lot of fun today. And here to set the stage, as mentioned on the screen, GM of Microsoft Learning, Lutz Ziob, is here, and he'll feed off your energy. Cheer him all the way to the stage. And Lutz, not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot. Oh, you got your own mic. You don't get this one. This is the only thing I'm getting.
Shake your hand.
Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Very moist. Is that moisturizer or sweat?
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Let me put you on the spot. Are you certified? Because this could be very awkward for you.
Yeah, it could be, indeed. I have to stop laughing first. That was funny. Anyways, yes, I am. But I'm certified in MOS, in Microsoft Office Specialist, not in the technical one, because you can trust our technical certification. There's no way in whatever that I would ever pass it. Good morning. Good morning. I'm excited to be here. 20 years of Microsoft certifications. You know what, guys? In this fast-paced industry, not a lot of things get ever to a decade, let alone 20. So we're looking at a program that's been 20 years in the marketplace. It's just amazing. I can also tell the people you saw in the video, I can bet you they were not certified. Otherwise, they would have not done what they've done. So I would like to start by welcoming the people that made that made it possible. It is clearly the Microsoft employees, not only on the Microsoft Learning side or whatever our team name was in the past, who built the programs and launched them, you name it, but the many thousands of Microsoft employees that on an average every day talk about the program, promote the program, and take the certification exams themselves. Any certified Microsoft employees in the room by show of hand? Excellent. I would say about 80–90% are raising their hand. Now let's try a little exercise. Let's raise your hand again and keep your hand up if your certification is at least 5 years old. I would say about 30% of hands go down. If your certification is 10 years old, I think we have another 4 or 5 hands up there, 15 years. Wow, now it's getting interesting. 16, a couple of people are computing. 17, 18, we have 2 hands left. Ken and Steve. 19. Wow, 20. We have 1 full-blown anniversary in the room. First, congratulations, and thank you for your dedication. And we have about 5,000 Microsoft employees that are currently certified. But we are not the only ones that are part of the success. Much more important are the many Microsoft learning partners around the globe. And many of them, I think we have hundreds of viewers, are called in right now. We have about over 1,400 partners around the globe with more than 18,000 certified Microsoft trainers that are helping on every day to get customers excited about the program, help them understand it, something we apparently did you do more work in the past, and we are fixing that, and also getting them trained and certified. So welcome to that family as well. As I mentioned before, not a lot of programs in the industry ever get to 20 years. Being in a program that is basically enticing people to spend a lot of their time, energy, yes, and sometimes money, to dedicate to a technology is quite an accomplishment. And when we started 20 years ago, some of us will remember it better than others, given our age. You all might remember Windows 3.1 was in the marketplace. Our networking solution was called LAN server, or LAN manager, I believe. SQL already existed, but many things were rather different. So for example, our idea of a laptop at that point in time was about that size. I called it the sewing machine. And if you really wanted to carry it around, you could, but you wouldn't get very far because of the weight of it. We didn't have even an idea what unified communication is or what phones would do for us one day. And then obviously over the years, our certification program has expanded and has morphed. But it stayed pretty much in its baseline of what it does, the same, until we changed to about 6 or 7 years ago. And you see some of the ways that we also rewarded the participants with their certificates has evolved as well. So I think now, looking at the next 20 years, or even the next 5 years, we have to get the program ready, the leading industry program to validate technical skills for the next 1 or 2 decades. And that's impossible without really understanding what cloud computing does to the industry, what it drives, and where it's heading. And so you all know, I'm talking to experts, that obviously cloud computing changes all the fundamentals of the technology. We develop applications differently. We think about the capabilities differently. We expect them to be connected and online. We clearly design solutions differently, implement them, troubleshoot them differently, and so forth. But it also changes the business dynamic. New businesses are being spun off. Existing ones are being threatened. And small ones are growing in a manner of 2 or 3 years into be a global player just through the power of cloud computing. And we know that as far as Microsoft is concerned, we will be one of the key players, possibly the key player, and our training and certification programs have to wrap around it and really focus on enabling that success as well. And here's an irony that always baffles me. While this industry is taking off, and unemployment in many countries around the world is higher than it's healthy for the economies. In the US, it's somewhere between 8 or 9%. We have actually a skills shortage developing again in IT, in particular for people that understand the new ways of doing business. Cloud computing, applications, SQL, BI, and you name it. If you have those skills, you can literally pick your job around the world tomorrow. And the way that Microsoft always has dealt with a skills shortage is to really hone in and focus on training and certification programs. So in a way, the industry is going this way. Our customers and partners are going that way. And we know there is a skills shortage that has the potential to slow down the development. If you ask John Roskill, who is responsible for the partner networking program at Microsoft, he will tell you that one of the key complaints he hears around the world from partners is, I cannot find the right talent, the skills, the certification that I need to grow my business together with Microsoft. So That's what motivates us. And you see a number here from IDC. They are estimating that another 14 million jobs will be created through cloud computing into a situation that already has a skills shortage. So that's what's in there for Microsoft, for our partners, and our customers. But what about the individuals themselves? We have about 7 million people that in the last 20 years have gained a Microsoft certification. If you take a conservative estimate, let's say it takes you between 20 and 40 hours, and it's really on the conservative side, to get ready for a certification. There are literally hundreds of millions of hours that customers, that individuals have spent with Microsoft technology. Why do they do that? And to give you a bit of a glimpse of what we are talking about, let's look at two very quick videos, starting with the first one. So here's one example from Haiti. I had the pleasure of meeting most of the students. There were about 28 or 30 of them, all between the age of 18 and 24, if I remember correctly. Every single one of them was able to get a job in Haiti, in that devastated country, after being trained and certified. I can tell you their appreciation for not just what technology can do for their life, but in the flavor of Microsoft technology is probably a lifelong love affair that they will carry with them. Let's zip around the world to India.
In eastern India's state of Bihar, a third of its people live below the poverty line, making it the poorest region in the nation. Microsoft is working with the Bihar government to teach computer skills to the region's poor youth. Microsoft Learning designed the course's curriculum and the certifications.
Ever since I was little, I wanted to learn computers. Actually, I would have been happy if I could just touch one. My life changed the day I came for my first computer class. I was so happy to sit in front of an actual computer. I liked my teacher right away. He taught us both theory and practical. I now have a Microsoft certificate. I knew I was almost guaranteed a job. Of course I had to get out and search for one.
I think wherever they go, whichever industry they join, a Microsoft certification definitely is going to add a lot of value to their resume.
Nagma found a position in data entry.
I want to thank everyone at Microsoft. May you continue to enjoy success, work together, support each other. Then we will all succeed in life.
The quake destroyed Haiti's infrastructure, making it nearly impossible to get aid out to the people. Enter Microsoft. The company joined forces with the nonprofit organization NetHope to form Haiti's NetHope Academy, a school that provides NGOs the technical talent they require and gives young Haitians a much-needed career opportunity. The free 6-month program teaches students IT skills in the classroom and on the job in internships. They also receive the highly valued Microsoft certifications from Microsoft Learning.
I've seen these guys, I know what they can do, and they can hold their own in just about any country in the world. They've got the skill sets, they're well trained. These guys are going to play a big, big role in the rebuilding of this country, so I'm very, very confident of that.
These are just two examples, and obviously two very pronounced ones from different corners of the world, how training and certification changes their life. And some of you know that I've been in the certification industry for, in fact, 3 or 4 different companies for 20 years. I've seen it over and over again. Something magically happens if you take technology, especially leading technology like Microsoft's, and combine it with people's passion, what they want to do for themselves, for their career and their community. Magic is happening. And we literally connect with their lives. They now have a roadmap in their mind of how they can do good for their own families, for their own career, or the communities by betting deeper and deeper on Microsoft. And what it does for us, as a company, for our learning partners, you name it, we become the trusted and guided advisors. We help them to do advancements and go further in what they really, really care about. It is a magic for me that I haven't seen in many things that we can do. With that kind of a background, looking forward, so what should the new program look like? How do we get the Microsoft certification programs, the leading industry solution, ready for the next 2 decades? To talk about that, I will ask Dawn to take over and tell you how we reinvent Microsoft certification starting today. Dawn, please join me.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yes.
You don't think I was going to let him enter? Get off stage. You had a big video. Okay, you can go. You can go. Go hang. There's champagne and candy. Go have some nougat for breakfast. Yeah. I can't just bring him up here. That's not very fun. Kind of bittersweet to meet Lutz, by the way, because now I know who the guy who took Lutz Zieb on Twitter was, which was painful for me because I'm like, who took that first? And there he is. He's the guy right there. All right, so our next guest, the reason he can't just come up to the stage is because, well, I don't know how to say it other than he's got a bit of a checkered past. Comes by way of Cisco, comes by way of Apple. And I know that is, I've just brought down the mood. The only way to bring it back up is by playing this video. You say, Chris, why would you show us a fire? That's not going to make us happy. It's not the fire, it's where the fire is at. Hey, that's Apple headquarters. That's the proper introduction for the man, the myth, the legend, who is no longer being investigated for causing that fire. Executive Director, Microsoft Certifications, Don Field. Now the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for that warm introduction. As Lutz said, we are reinventing Microsoft certifications for the cloud. Lutz talked about the ways in which the cloud is changing everything for IT professionals and for developers. I'm going to share with you a little bit more about what we're doing and why we're doing it. We know that today's IT professionals and developers have a bigger and bigger role to play given the changes that the cloud is bringing to the IT landscape. Some people think, well, the cloud will change the roles that people have. Absolutely, it's changing those roles, and here's why. In the past, an individual working as an IT professional or a developer could focus on on-premise solutions. Now they need to think about public cloud, private cloud, on-premise, and just as important, hybrid solutions that combine some of those different elements, making it all the more challenging for that IT professional to bring the seamless solutions together that their clients expect, whether within their own company or for a company or organization for whom they're providing services. Bringing those hybrid solutions together is key. And as many organizations move to add more and more cloud services, there are many, many organizations that have a hybrid of cloud and on-premise solutions that are forming their complete IT infrastructure. So in order for technical professionals, whether they are planning, designing, implementing, operating, or developing solutions, is they need broader skills. They need skills that cover a range of products that taken together form a complete solution. They also need deeper skills, skills that will help them to make sure that they have all of the components that they need in any particular technology area. So the certifications that we're reinventing for the cloud are broader and deeper than the certifications that preceded them, because that's what's needed and expected of IT professionals and developers moving forward. I also mentioned planning, designing, implementing, and operating. If you think about the cloud, more of the implementing and operating functions, not all, but more, are done at the hosting level. That means that IT professionals and developers have greater opportunity to do what they've always wanted to do, which is focus more on planning and designing great solutions that really meet their organization's needs. So all of the changes that we're making are designed to support the needs, whether they be on-premise, private cloud, public cloud, or an integration and hybrid of 2 or more of those different areas. So our certification requirements are going up. And one of the things you might have noticed on this slide is we're also introducing recertification at the new expert level in our program. Let me explain why we're doing that. We have a few different reasons. but the most important relates to versions. So if you think about today's Microsoft certifications, they rely on version numbers. Individuals are certified in a particular competency in a version of our products. Cloud services don't have versions. So we needed another way to assure that individuals who earn our certifications continue to have the latest skills, knowledge, and capabilities to assure them that they could present the full value of their skills to current employers, prospective employers, for recognition among their peers, and frankly, to build their own confidence in their ability with the certifications that they have earned. Also, rigor is an important foundational element in our program. Here's what we mean by that. We want to make sure that individuals that we certify have the requisite knowledge and skills. And for those that still have a way to go, they shouldn't be able to pass our exams. But if they do have the requisite knowledge and skills, we want them to pass. So our goal in assuring rigor and quality and integrity in our certifications is to get that balance just right, so that those who have the requisite knowledge and skills can earn our certifications, and those who don't get the message that they in fact need to brush up their skills to get them to the right stage. That's a foundational element that continues as we reinvent our certifications for the cloud. Here's what our new certification stack looks like. There are 3 levels in our new program. The associate level is the foundation for a career in IT, whether for IT professionals or developers. The expert level is the globally recognized standard of IT excellence. And the reason that has on the slide, that has a line around it is that we expect that for most people, that's their target destination. The expert level is what most folks will be targeting in their career. For the select few that have the ability to go even further, we have the master level, which is the pinnacle of recognition of deep technical expertise, not just in the Microsoft stack, but in the industry. Now, in making these changes, we also thought about what should we do about the branding of our certifications. Should we make any changes there? We were looking for branding that was immediately recognizable, branding that connoted quality and value, branding that would be respected in the industry above all else. And so when we thought about it, we realized that as we were reinventing our program for the cloud, we have great cloud and on-premise products and services and solutions that we offer at Microsoft. We have a great learning organization, and equally important, an outstanding set of learning partners, authorized Microsoft learning partners, and Microsoft certified trainers around the world that can support what we do. And we have a world-class, best-in-class, most recognizable in our industry brand that we can use for our new certifications. And so at this important moment, not just in the history of Microsoft certifications, but in the future of certifications in our industry, I'm delighted to announce to you that MCSE is back. MCSE to an IT professional means quality, integrity, a certification that has real value, that employers immediately recognize, that peers immediately recognize, and that for an individual means, I know that I have accomplished something very important as part of my career. It means for an IT professional, they've arrived. At the same time, you'll notice that what the letters MCSE stand for in our new program have changed. It's now the Microsoft Certified Solutions Expert. As we had reinvented our program for the cloud, we recognized the importance of broader solutions, as I said earlier, and deeper understanding of our technologies. So we reflected what we mean by solutions right there in the name. and because those solutions will often include cloud services. Microsoft Certified Solution Expert, or MCSEs, will require recertification so that individuals can continually validate that their skills are current and up to date, which is exactly what they're looking for and employers are looking for. Very excited to have MCSE as the flagship certification in our new program. Now, I've got some guests that are going to want to chat with you about what we've changed and what it means from their perspective. But first, I have a short animation that I want to show you about the new MCSE.
Microsoft's cloud solutions are transforming business and fundamentally changing the nature of IT. As organizations make the journey to the cloud, we want you to lead the way. That's why we've reinvented MCSE certification for the cloud. MCSE has been our industry's most recognized and respected certification for 20 years. Now, MCSE certifies an even deeper set of skills across technology solutions rather than individual technologies. With cloud-related skills validation added to the program, MCSE is more relevant and valuable than ever. And because Microsoft's cloud solutions are continuously updated, the MCSE certifications place greater emphasis on cutting-edge technologies, ensuring that your skills are always up to date. At a time when cloud computing talent is in short supply, MCSE certification shows employers and peers that you have the skills to do the job, either on-premise or in the cloud. So whether you're looking to get hired, get promoted, or just update your skills, we've reinvented MCSE for you.
Outstanding. So, as I said, we have 3 guests that really wanted to join us today to talk about their perspectives on the changes that we're making in our certifications. Our first guest joining us by live meeting is Michael O'Neill. Some of you know Michael. He's Senior Director at New Horizons Computer Learning Centers, one of our Microsoft Authorized Learning partners with 300 locations around the world. And he's in charge of their Microsoft practice at New Horizons. Some of you might also know that Michael is an 18-year Microsoft veteran. So I'm delighted to have Michael joining us today. Michael, are you able to hear me today?
I can. Can you hear me?
I sure can. And Michael, we can see you as well. So I'm going to turn it over to you to make your comments about our announcement today. And thank you again for joining us.
Thanks. Thanks, Don, and thanks, Microsoft, for letting me come on for just a minute and talk about some of the amazing changes going on in the certification program. You know, I first heard about the certification changes last year at WPC when Microsoft ran a number of focus groups and had quite a number of partners come in and share ideas about what was working and what could be improved. And now, here a year later, seeing the program roll out, I'm very pleased to see that Microsoft adapted and took those changes and added them into the program. So it's clear Microsoft listens to its partners. Now, everyone, I'm sure, is getting excited about adding cloud certifications in. But the thing that really is exciting me is that Microsoft is taking a solutions focus. At New Horizons, we're always telling our reps that you've got to focus on the cross-sell and upsell of the product, that to sell just a single class or a single certification around SQL Server is missing the integrated technology that makes Microsoft so famous. And we have an opportunity to sell a number of certifications and a number of technologies together working as one. Well, in the past, the certification program hasn't really represented that quite as well. But with the changes that you've added in now and what we're seeing of this solutions-focused and solutions-oriented center around the certifications, it's going to make learning partners such as New Horizons and all the learning partners much better able to tell the complete story about certification being a journey and a process that involves multiple technologies, multiple products. And I think in the long term, it's going to help us sell more training and provide lots more certification to our customers. So thank you for that.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Thanks very much for joining us today, Mike. Okay, next we have Chris Rhodes, who's on the phone with us from the UK. Chris is an MCT, a Microsoft certified trainer. He is a member of our MCT Advisory Council. He also runs his own consulting firm in Yorkshire, England. And he's joining us from his vacation with his family in southern England. Unlike our weather here today in beautiful Redmond, I think the word that he used when we spoke to him earlier today was that the weather there was glorious. So I really appreciate the fact that Chris has chosen to join us today. He's on cell phone. Let's make sure the audio is okay. Chris, are you able to hear me?
Hi, Don. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you great. Chris, thank you again for joining us, and I'll turn it to you for your comments.
Many thanks, Don. Well, you know, I really appreciate the opportunity to speak today because, as you mentioned, even though I'm on holiday here, this really was too important today to miss out. And, you know, it's a great opportunity to come along and talk. Just to give a bit of background, as an MCT for over 16 years, and as someone who's taken over, I think, 50 MCT exams, as a veteran, I think this is actually a very exciting time that you've announced these things today. And even for someone who's an old hat like me, I think, you know, this is a great new sort of beginning as well. When I think back to some of my first exams that I took back in the days, I think Lutz was mentioning, back in the days of Windows 3.1 and DOS. Some of you might be as old as me to remember those. You know, a lot has changed over the years to come to where we are now with the cloud technologies being on the forefront now. But, you know, I think the announcements you've made today, I think as a trainer, speaking from our point of view, this is actually going to, you know, represent a simplification for the students when they're looking at certification. It's going to make the sort of the ground easier for them to understand. But at the same time, this is a really good opportunity for trainers to really train and engage a whole new generation on the cloud technologies that are out there. And just with reference to the MCT Advisory Council you mentioned, yeah, I mean, we had a meeting back in January where we were given some sneak previews of some of the stuff that you've brought out today, but by no means was any of this concrete or finalized. Certainly not the names. And you know, Microsoft Learning asked us, you know, for our input, and what we discussed with them was, I guess half-heartedly at the time, we even joked about putting forward the idea of bringing back the old names. And, you know, we're actually really excited that this got announced today, and the Advisory Council only found out a few days ago about these new names. And, you know, the old names are back, and we're really pleased about that. Of course, you know, they have new meaning, but we are really excited that the new names of MCSE and MCSA, MCSD, they're going to be back here. And I actually think the trainer community at large is going to be really excited as well. The new meaning behind these, the new solutions aspect to this, excuse me, and the new generation of technologies we're talking about, I think is really going to re-energize the world of, excuse me, training and certification that we're embroiled with today. I think actually using the familiar names is going to help ease the transition for people to this new generation. It should make it easier for employers to recognize the brands. They've been around a long time, and they're coming back. That's great to hear. And I think they also understand, employers and hiring managers understand what the certifications actually stand for in the marketplace. So, I mean, I know words like destination and progression have been used a lot today. I think that's absolutely going to be the case. People are going to see that there's a possibility of progression, not just through the breadth that was explained, but within their own level, like expert level, for example, but that there's actually higher levels people can attain as well if they want, and I don't think that's always been perceived by people. I think they should reinvigorate that for people and show them that there's a lot of career progression, even for old people like me who've been in the trade this long as well. So, yeah, I think it's great. And we're also really keen, I think, in the training world to see the fact there's going to be more of a one-to-one mapping between courses and exams to help us out. That's really going to help students and trainers in the classroom as well. I think that's going to be a great new thing for us. I think overall the MCT community are going to embrace these changes that have been announced today, and it's only new. It's all new for them, but I think they're going to give it the big thumbs up. So, you know, thanks a lot for that, Microsoft. I think it's going to be a good new start for us all.
Great, Chris. Thank you very much. And we'll let you get back to your family in that great weather. Thanks again for joining us today. And our third guest is right here in the room, Stephen Rose. Stephen is the IT Community Manager for Windows Commercial. He told me before the session that his very first Microsoft certification was Windows NT 4. Am I correct? He's nodding, so that is correct. And as you can see on his license plate, he's got the world's coolest license plate. And so with that, allow me to please introduce Stephen Rose.
Thank you. I think many of us, as we get older, and Chris talked about being old, and I'm older than Chris, We go back to moments that really defined and changed our lives. And for me, it was deciding to get certified. I was in my mid-20s. I was unhappy with my career. And I decided, because I was young and single, that I would reboot my life. I moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, and I got a job working for New Horizons because I loved computers. What's funny is my mom worked for Apple. We were absolutely a Mac family. And I decided I loved PCs, and I started to work there. And after a year or two, they said, well, if you can pass your A+, if you can become an MCP, we'll let you teach on our technical track. And I did. And what I thought was going to be a job that I would only spend a year or two doing, I spent 7 years working for New Horizons. I moved to their corporate headquarters in California and ended up launching some of their online live MCSE certification. That led to me starting my own company and getting more successful. From that, I continued to get certified. I upgraded to 2000 and 2003 because when I walked into an employer, it wasn't my name, it wasn't the title that I was a partner in a company, it was the long list of certifications, MCSE, MCP plus I, MCP, MCT, and all of the CompTIA certifications I had taken, that employers would turn around and say, you have more letters after your name than in your name. And I loved it because it would give them a moment of pause. It told them that I just didn't have the experience doing it. I understood how Microsoft and the various companies wanted to do it. As time went on, I became an MVP and started to be courted by Microsoft, and I turned that down. I was teaching at Cal State Fullerton, their evening MCSE training. I was really, really enjoying what I was doing. Finally, Microsoft made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and I moved up here. And I came here because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be one of those guys here at Microsoft who remembered all of those years in the field, who had taken the exams, who had worked with customers, and who had found the value in all of the certifications that he had used, and to get a chance to help those folks, to help the person I was and those people who were in my position. I now oversee all of the IT Pro content for Windows 7, for Windows 8. I have a newsletter now that reaches 1 million people every month. Our website, we get between 1.5 million to 2.5 million visitors in 10 countries. I travel the world, but one of the first meetings that I did when I came here was with Ken Rosen. Ken was looking for someone to kick off their MCT summit in Prague, and when he looked down at my business card, he said, you've got your certification on there. I didn't know who Ken was, but I had MCSE and MCT, because people didn't know who I was and what I had accomplished here, although they knew it in the real world. And it was important to me that people saw that I came from that group. That certification was important to me. And although a lot of what I do is around Windows, and I travel, and I've met a lot of the folks who are talking today and continue to speak to a lot of folks, they ask me, what's important? I go, absolutely get certified. Experience is great. But experience, even if you don't have a lot, plus certification, sets you apart from those people that have 5, 10 years experience. I not only know how to do this, I know how Microsoft wants me to do this. I understand how to do this, and then I have the real-world experience to give it that extra value. It's absolutely critical, and I'm here today because of that decision that I made. And I've never made a more important decision in my life, in my career path, than getting certified and sitting down with a trainer and folks like New Horizons and folks like Microsoft to do this. Whenever I get a call from Ken or Veronica or any of the folks from the Microsoft MSL folks, we're doing a community conference. I get calls from Daniel Sorolev and these guys. Hey, we're going to do the MCT Europe. Absolutely. I'm happy to participate and do it, because I'm hoping that if one of those persons who's in a job that isn't getting them where they want to be, no matter what age they're at, and they go, you know what, I want to make a change, that this is a great place to start. By sitting down and getting the books, or going to classes, or shadowing someone who does that, and getting certified opens up a world of possibilities. And I'm standing here today at 46 years old as an example of that person who took that path not knowing where I was going to end up and ended up here. MCT has absolutely changed my life, and hence why when I got all those certifications, the first thing I wanted to do was share it with the world, and I put it on my license plate. Thank you.
The excitement of what you've heard by going and learning more about what it is that we're offering, by going off and earning one of those new certifications. The MCSE for private cloud, for database, for data platform, and for business intelligence are already coming available. And also feel free to share the excitement on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, your favorite community and engine. Now, I believe at this point I'm going to be calling Lutz back up to lead us in a toast, but I have a feeling that something else is going to happen first.
Foreshadowing. All right, thank you. Fair enough. This is the moment, arguably, we've all been waiting for, which is great because you can't actually drink. That's one of those rules. You can't drink on television. They can't see you drinking. That's why they always cut away. I don't think there's such a rule in live meeting, this is fantastic. So here to lead us in a toast and really to celebrate officially with the champagne, which is making its way around in the room. And again, because of the crowd, we only have room for you to have 8 or 9 glasses of champagne, which is going to make the rest of today a lot more giggly. So this is fantastic. Let's bring Lutz back up here, and it wouldn't be appropriate to just bring him back up here. So here to bring him up, another piece of video I obtained with him. This is security camera footage of him attempting to rob a bank. Take a look. We don't have that video, but wouldn't that be great if I had that video? Come on up here, Lutz.
Thank you. I'm not sure I caught your name, Chris. It was Chris Cash. Man, that's a really, really cool name.
Thank you.
Anyways, Don, come and join me. This is a wonderful opportunity. And by the way, if you were able to see our folks here, it's a typical Microsoft Learning celebration. So we invite people to celebrate. What do? They bring their laptops with them and our heads down in their emails. So there's a table over there where you barely have space for the glasses because everybody is just down on their laptop. So that's how we celebrate over here. I hope you guys have more fun over there. Can we have a glass as well? Or are the 6 or 7 glasses all gone? So actually, while you do that, let me tell one more. I can't open at the same time. Taking off from Stephen, I would like to share one last story that really someone told me something about certification where it kind of brought it back for me. It was probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was an industry event. It was a panel discussion. And one of the participants was one of the leading senior directors, technical directors, a woman for the Homeland Security Department. And she talked about how they are using certifications and Microsoft certifications to really elevate the capabilities not only of individuals, but the whole team combined. And she described what it does for the efficiency of the team, you name it. But it kind of resonated with me when she made the following statement. She goes, what we discovered is that even for the employees that fail a test, i.e. not pass it, something important happens. And she described it as they now understand where the bar is. They now understand what is being expected. And their ability to communicate with the rest of the team improves because they have the same, and Stephen described it really well, the understanding where the train is going, how it's well done, you name it. They have an understanding what their own skills gap is. I think that's a wonderful way to describe what the certification program can do for the individuals, but also for the team and the efficiency. You guys still haven't opened the bottle.
Well, you got to open this.
Okay, wonderful.
You open this. The cork popping certification is on the line, by the way, if you nail it. And as we do this, I would also like to loop in. Of course, this is celebrating you guys in the certification.
Go fast.
But I'd like to loop in the guys in the back, the tech team, because we had to do live meeting. We had to reach out to the UK, and through all of it, not a hiccup in audio, nothing. But awkward. You almost nailed it. All right, let's leave them out of the toast. Everybody else.
I will see whether I can reach them with my cork. Okay. Oh, there we go. So, here we go.
This is the way you're supposed to do it. This is the sophisticated way. You just spill it all over
Guys,
the carpet.
have you ever watched the
floor.
car race, what they do there? We should, no, anyway.
Yeah.
So, to an incredible 2 decades behind us and even more exciting 2 decades in front of us. Cheers.
Cheers.
Chris, we're done.
All right, now wait a minute. Best news of all. Because of the attendance, your odds just went way, way up in the prize category. We have brought some prizes, and you get them for nothing more than showing up. And we're going to do something real quick, and then we'll take a break, and we'll let you guys play and rub elbows and have food. And again, there's a giant buffet, which we strategically put through this door so you couldn't get to it until you earned it. But we do have some certificates, some gift cards, like $250 on Amex. I've got it in my pocket right here. And you essentially get it. This is not a skills-based. There's no trivia. You get it for doing essentially nothing other than maybe humiliate yourself a little bit. Heads or tails? You know how it works. I've got a quarter. Not yet, but you've already picked it. Heads or tails? I'm going to flip this coin, and you're going to call it first. You're going to lock it in. You want heads? Put your hands on your head. You want tails? Put your hands on your tails. Lutz, your tails. So you put heads, tails. You lock it in before I flip it. You're going to see how fast this works. We'll call it the miracle minute because within a minute, it's going to be down to just one person, and that person will get $250 in Amex, which is in my pocket. And we've got another one. Hint, hint, foreshadow. Okay, lock it in, heads or tails. You'll see how this works. Watch how we cut down the crowd. Lock it in. Everybody's playing. You want 250. Heads or tails, police yourselves. This is one of those funky new, technically it's a tails, but it's got like 2 horses on it. It's a tails. So if you had tails, you're good. If you had heads, you're out. Normally we'd ask you to stand up and sit down, but we won't make you sit down for this. So just remember, if you're out, you're out. Okay, for those of you who had tails, you're still in it, lock it in. Heads or tails. Heads or tails. Lock it in. Heads or tails, flipping. Heads or tails. The horses again. It's a tails. All right, how many people are still in? So raise your hand. See, not that many already. Okay, heads or tails, lock it in. Let's cut it in half at least again. Heads or tails, heads or tails. Here we go. Is this a trick coin? I better make sure there is a head. It's a tails again, believe it or not. How many are still in? Okay, let's cut it in half. Heads or tails, one more time, lock it in. Then we'll put you on the spot. Heads or tails. It is a heads for the first time. How many people are still in? 2? Dramatic. Get up here. Get up here on the stage in the spotlight, which, don't worry, is not as intimidating as it usually. Usually in audiences, you come up and you got to look at people looking at you. But with technology and the way you guys probably saw, now you look out and all you see is this. Like you couldn't even pick us out of a lineup. If we rub elbows out, they're going to go, hi, who are you? I'm sorry? Okay, heads or tails, you know how this works. So you know I'm not tricking you. $250 on Amex. I'll hand it right to you, right? All right, heads or tails? Heads or tails? You can't pick the same thing, don't you? Come on. This is one of the easiest game shows in the world. They're going to pick the same thing. Heads or tails? You're both going tails. You know that there could be no winner. Okay, here we go. Heads or tails? Flipping it. I don't want you guys to see it. Heads or tails? And the winner of $250 from Amex is going to be revealed after the break. Now, give us room. We'll insert a commercial right here. We'll sell something. Come back in. No, come back. Come back. They're on live meeting still. Ready? Right where you were for continuity. And welcome back. Before the break, we were getting ready to reveal who won $250 from American Express. Now you know how they do it. All right, the winner is, and I have not tampered with this coin, it's a heads. Heads! Winner! Winner! More than a chicken dinner. Thank you very much. I do have several more of those in my pocket. Hint, hint. So we'll give you about 10 minutes or so to play, rub elbows, go get some food, mingle. We'll open up the dance floor. Champagne's going around. Have some fun, and then we'll give away some more free stuff just for hanging out today. Thank you so much for coming.